Hiya guys, Nigel here. I've got an unboxing video for you today. I know it's unusual to see this on a Land Rover channel, but if you've seen my other channel, Nigel's Modelling Bench, it's something us scale modelers do all the time. We do unboxings of kits and tools and stuff. So I thought I'd do an unboxing of this. This is my brand new Ashcroft ATB Centre Diff for my LT230 rebuild. So why Ashcroft? Okay, Ashcroft are a UK based company. They're up in Luton, and they are the go-to people for Land Rover transmission parts, diffs, transfer boxes, gearboxes, conversions. They do literally anything you could possibly want for any Land Rover product to upgrade, modify, or just, you know, recondition, replace your transmission parts. They do all of it. If you are familiar with a YouTube channel called Defender 90 Orkney, that is actually Damien's YouTube channel, based in Australia. He has a Orkney grey Defender 90, hence the name Defender 90 Orkney, and if you look at that, it is like a rolling advert for Ashcroft. It's got Ashcroft diff, Ashcroft centre diff, Ashcroft shafts, Ashcroft dry flanges, and if you watch that thing and the kind of abuse it gets, I've never seen it break, I've never seen it miss a beat. And when you actually see it trying to clamber up rocks on 37-inch tyres with both lockers on and this in the middle, you can hear those tyres kind of, you know, on the rock, and you think something's got to break, but it never does. So, and you'll see other Land Rovers there with unmodified, you know, there's a couple of videos with Discoveries, there's one on there with a 90, and they get to the same position. It's like, you know, that awful crack, you know, CV's gone, there we go. So that's why I went for Ashcroft. Now, I have had a very quick look at the box just to make sure when I open it, there's not a big receipt in there with my dress glaring out at you, everybody knowing where I live. So here we go, this is it. And we've got the big red box there with the Ashcroft LT230 ATB Type B. Type B is basically for the TD5 and the TDCI, so the later LT230s. Type A is for everything else. I also ordered some seals. Now Ashcroft provide these seals at a very reasonable price. I think they were like £4 each. Let me have a look. Let's have a quick look. Yes, the seals were £4 each, and they are actually OEM seals. So yeah, really nice. They are genuine OEM seals, exactly the same as the ones that were in mine. And as you can see, they're pre-greased as well, so that's good. And I've now got grease all over my fingers. So for £4 each, they are a bloody bargain. I'll just get the grease off my hands. And then in here we've got the fitting kit. Now, if you're going to buy this diff and fit it yourself, I would recommend getting the fitting kit, because you're going to need bearings and you're going to need shims. Now this fitting kit also includes some other odds and ends as well. So let's just have a look what we get in here. So how do we open this box? It's good, isn't it? I'm such a good engineer, I can't even open a box. So we've got the high-low seal, which is the OEM, basically the silicone sealant for the transfer box. And whether I use this or not, I don't know. My favourite sealant of all is I forgot the name of the Japanese stuff. I think it's called 3-bar or something. That's my favourite sealant, but apparently this stuff is amazing, and this is going to be needed around some threads and everything as well. So we've got some shims here, full set of shims. That's for the diff, and then they also do a set of shims for the input shaft as well if you want them. As I say, this is all part of this kit. And then in the bag here we've got the cross washer. This is for the intermediate shaft, which is a necessity. 2 O-rings for the ends of the intermediate shaft. This funny shaped nut here, you'll see from my strip down, this goes on the end of the actual diff. And then we've got this nut here, which goes on the end of the intermediate shaft and is staked, and that's why I've given us a new one. And then in here we've got genuine Timken bearings. Be careful of your cheaper equivalents, they are not as good. And these are genuine Timken, and don't worry, sometimes you will see Timkens made in India, you'll see them made in France, I think I've seen them made in Spain. This is Poland, for example, but if it's got the Timken name on it, it's going to be good. It's going to be good quality. Some of the cheapest brands out there these days are just made of cheesecake. So we've got some genuine Timken bearings there, and there's the numbers there should you need to get those bearings for yourself. So that's the Ashcroft LT230 torque biasing fitting kit. Now what I'm going to do now is just switch the camera off and get this big box open, and we'll get the actual diff itself out. Okay, here we go. So this is the box, lovely as it's looking. And first of all, let's ask ourselves the question, why did I buy this? Okay, there's a few reasons. One is strength, which for me was the biggie. The standard centre diff in the LT230 is the weak link in the chain. I'll give you an example. Basically, if you are on a dirt track and you've got one wheel stuck in an icy puddle and that wheel is spinning, without your centre diff locked, that wheel will spin to high heaven. The rear wheels aren't spinning at all, therefore the centre diff is doing all the work on one side. So all your little planet gears are spinning around on the pins, and they will eventually weld themselves to the pins and everything will just break. So that's basically why I bought this. Now obviously in that situation you would have your diff locked, okay? So if you have your diff locked, then you won't get that problem where it's only going to be driving one wheel. So you've improved the strength of the differential, if you like, by locking it. But you've in fact almost kind of weakened the strength of the differential if you actually have your diff locked, because what happens then is you get transmission wind up. So if you're traveling at any speed on gravel, you will get loss of traction because the wheels will actually spin to unwind themselves, to unwind the transmission. And if you drive with your diff locked on tarmac, you'll just smash everything up anyway. So with this, you've got like a kind of halfway house with automatic torque biasing. Basically, it will put torque to the wheel that has traction. So with an ordinary open diff, let's talk about this as if it was an axle. With an ordinary open diff, if you have one wheel in the air, or sorry, one wheel sat in gravel and the other wheel on tarmac, the gravel wheel will just spin and the tarmac wheel will do nothing. As we all know, you can hold one wheel and spin the other wheel. With a torque biasing diff, the torque will get passed to the other wheel, to the wheel that has the traction, and therefore it will pull you out. If you do end up with a wheel in the air though, an automatic torque biasing differential will just become an open diff. Okay, so the thing to do there is just dab the brakes, and then you put a bit of resistance in the wheel that's spinning, and automatically it'll start doing its torque biasing thing again. It's a very, very complex thing to understand. Once you understand it, it's, oh, okay, yeah, it's like a eureka moment. You've got it, you know. So that was one reason. The other reason for me was reading on the internet is about the clunk. Now we all know about the clunk on your Land Rover. You're driving along, you've got various surfaces and stuff, and it's like bang, 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 and it's clunking away. And what that is all the backlash in the diff and everything all sort of taking care of itself. So that was another reason for getting this. And for me personally, I fancied one of these. Could I justify the expense? Yes, because I want to go off-road in my Land Rover. But what made it a lot easier for me was the fact that when I took my output shaft out, we all know the problems with the MT82 output shaft. Mine was absolutely perfect, so I haven't got to buy one of those, so it's kind of almost paid for this. So let's have a look at what we get in the box. Starting off, we've got a couple of Ashcroft stickers here, by the look of it. And they're folded in half, unfortunately. They could have been put in and not folded. Never mind. And then we've got the polystyrene lid there, and then we get into the box and we've got the actual diff itself. As you can see, unfortunately the polystyrene's cracked, but that doesn't matter. So what have we got in here? We've got a plastic bag. here is our diff, and I am a mechanical engineer. Served my time with Rolls-Royce Aerospace, and I can tell you this looks like a beautifully made piece of kit. So we've got our ground diameters here for our pressed on bearings. We've got the ground diameter here for the bush, which goes on the which takes the high ratio gear. We've got the splined area here, which is where our hub goes on, our dog clutch for fixing switching between high and low ratio. And then we've got these two ground diameters here, which will have the low gear spinning on there. So and we can see we've got some lovely big feed holes here for the oil, so we're never going to get any issues with them drying out. And then on this end we've got the spline here for the dog clutch for the diff lock. So here's our diff lock working here, and here's our high-low ratio working there. So basically it all happens around the diff. And now obviously we've got the solidly machined casing there, and if we look down in there we can see, down inside there you can see there's one of the worm gears. If you look online, look at ATBs and see how they work, just to get an idea of how they work. It's, as I say, it's quite complicated to understand, but once you understand it, it will be like a eureka moment for you. And then looking in the end, you can see we've got it all beautifully machined here. Really, really nice job. And then down in there we've got our splines for the output shaft, and then down in there once again, right down in the bottom, we've got our splines once again for the output shaft. So yeah, really, really nice piece of kit, beautifully machined, beautifully made, and really, really chuffed I got it. And if you keep your eyes peeled, very soon, within the next 2 weeks I would say, I'll be doing a video on how I rebuild the transfer box and fit this and set it up and everything. Now if you look in the manual, to set the diff up you need to have the setting tools and the blocks and everything. Obviously for a DIYer like myself who's only going to be doing this once, I'm not going to invest in setting tools and stuff, so I'll be doing it the homemade way with clocks and stuff and getting a tooth out preload. So how much did all this cost? So we saw the seals earlier on, I showed you, they were £4 each, which I think is a bargain. This actual diff itself, the Type B diff, £345. Type A is the same price I believe. I did notice on the website, if you are having Ashcroft build you a new transfer box, they'll only charge you £300 for this, so you'll save money, and also you'll save on the fitting kit, which is £48. So all in all, I would say, you know, you need the fitting kit to put this in, so you're looking at £393 all in. And that to me, it's just worth it. It's worth it because the transfer box is out. You know, if I decided I wanted to do this in 6 months time, it's a hell of a lot of work to get under there and get that transfer box out again. This is kind of fit and forget. It's maintenance free. It's not like an LSD with plates and stuff that needs servicing and tensioning. You just put this in, change your oil, keep your oil clean, forget it, and it'll just sit in there and do its job. I've seen no reports of anything breaking or any weaknesses. I've seen no one complain about anything to do with one of these in any way, shape or form. If you want to take the cheaper option and not go this far, but you want to improve the strength of your diff, you can buy, I think it's £45, don't quote me on that. On the Ashcroft website they do a 4-pin, you know, one piece machined 4-pin for your diff, so the spider. So that's going to be an upgrade as well. And they also do all the bearing cups, the copper bearing cups that wear out, the brass are they, and then you've also got the planet gears as well, which all wear out. You can buy all of that individually to rebuild your diff. So there we go guys. So that is the Ashcroft torque biasing centre diff. If you've got your transfer box out, I suggest you go and get one. Bye for now.